morning from the Hostage Diaries. Today happens to be my birthday, 12/9, Magic Day, being John Malkovich. I'm going to discuss the many theories of my captivity, why this is Hostage Diaries and I'm not celebrating. It's a bizarre scenario living in the Castaway Island since basically it started in the late 1990s, but it's gone to it really started, the alienation started in Jackson Hole when I escaped Baton Rouge, and around 2003, 2004, I've basically been alienated, driven mad. We all know from the pandemic what a little bit of time alone creates the mental instability, and I've basically been alienated, amateur brain surgery since 2003. So we're talking about 20 plus years of mostly alone, and I have no contact with anybody, and my expectations have grown mightily, mainly because I didn't waste my time and I've been studying and theorizing, and so my intelligence levels have grown. And one of the ways that I am handicapped is I've been surrounded by deadweight dullards. It's like dragging you down. The Omega curse, drag you down deep to drown. Jason Voorhees at the bottom of the Crystal Lake with a strap, with a chain around his neck. So I am surrounded by incompetents who I cannot use, because if I had competent resources, I might escape the zoo. And then, heavens help us, praise Jesus, they might actually have to pay for the stolen wallet charge cards. That's why they love the Mafia loves Jesus and USA because they allow the criminality to happen. They justify it in the name of, there's all sorts of maniac. And this is a rare case scenario. But pull that a little there. My microphone has been, hacked or whatever, to where now I have to talk real loud, and so I don't know what kind of reception this has in it just doesn't work very good. As usual, Handicap Kidnap, Handicap, the name of the Harrison Bergeron, because I read in 9th grade, Catholic High Bears, read Harrison Bergeron, guns to head, handicapped. And we also read The Contender, which was about a boxer, and then it goes back to Bo Derek 10, Perfect 10. And so they beat me to make others pretty. That's my beauty shop beat. I get beat and others get pretty. So I get ugly and others get pretty. A beauty shop. That's the name of the game. We also watched Romeo and Juliet. It's about star-crossed lover suicide. It was all sorts of, and that's 9th grade, the magic year, this being 12/9, my birthday. St. Louis 9 or Omega K9, the body swappers, the Mafia armed robbery hack, body swappers, body stealers. So my St. Louis 9 King of France body got swapped, and I get the Omega K9. I'm lucky. I honestly think it is luck that I am still living indoors. They wanted me outdoors. They wanted me dead because of all of the synchronicity semiotics. And so if I could build this case, it's a huge case against the Mafia. My mother saved me, but she's doing the dirty work of beating me, keeping me small, and that's the crazy part about it. But I'm lucky to be living indoors with technology. Wired. Because of the Mafia wanted me, USS Kidnap, force off the grid homeless. The perfect kidnap is homeless. You're contained in a bubble because you're handicapped with few resources. So then they pride. I got a degree from, and this was the pride, the deadly sin lesson they were going to teach. The new Bible they were writing, the Mafia Bible. So pride of being homeless would lead to suicide, and they could erase me from existence and save all the Mafia brothers that screwed me and stole my wallet. Praise Jesus, God bless USA. So the bullshit Jesus franchise slave bet, it's really a voodoo doll. It's just absolutely, this goes back to the Saint Jean Vianney confirmation and the curse marks. It only matters to somebody that's worth a ton in magic energy or deep pockets to pick. Otherwise, it's not worth the time. Go about your life. You're not VIP special. That's special ed wrestling. So, the deep pockets to pick only matters to the VIPs, and it's a rare disease. So, Lou Gehrig's disease, my muscles done quit. They fight against me to keep me captive in the cage. So, the voodoo doll curse, franchise slave bit. Yeah, I know where I was going. It goes back to and the Mafia forces me to believe in Jesus by tortured life because they steal my wallet. So they are forcing me to believe in Jesus to justify the criminality. That's the bullshit Jesus fraud. It's really a voodoo doll. Bribe luck. You never know. That's some fancy luck bribe in there. Lucky rabbit's foot, Louis. Looney Tunes. Franchise slave bet. They realized that this all started when I showed propensities to escape. 1996, I tried to launch a Louisiana Renaissance. I got on medicine for my ADHD, and I got real focused. That's when the beatdown massacre started. I tried to launch a Louisiana Renaissance and an evolution campaign and a jazz and funk inspired music movement like Seattle grunge. That was Uppity slave there. They bet on me being the franchise slave. They got to keep us small. They going to keep us voodoo dolls in the cage. So they beat me down, and then the smarter I get, the more handicapped I get. Alienation is handicapped with no resources. I've been extreme poor. I mean, we're talking, I was making like $4,000 to $12,000 a year with a college degree. I got fired from 75 jobs. And then the alienation started. It was some sort of zombie mafia disease, hate crime. And they realized that there was consciousness in the mob. And that's another reason you got to keep me. I had no car. I was a Walker Texas Ranger. So they had to keep me within a contained bubble of environment and they could control my resources. So if I tried meeting tons of people, and I would meet them. I don't know if there was some sort of conscious mafia or if I was just beat repulsive and, I don't know. It seems to me there was a conscious mafia conspiracy against me to keep me alienated. Either that or people just rejected me. And I've been rejected, total rejection by everyone, a competency. And so it's kind of like a strange phenomenon. I don't know if they were threatened or I don't know. I would love a FBI investigation, but they got the presidents involved. They got to trick the presidents to give the White House dirty. Paint the White House black. Evil empire. Unmask the evil empire, Darth Vader. So we're going to go into my birthday joke, the slave joke. Bribe luck, whip ugly. 12-9 Delta Center. Why the hell is Delta Airlines sponsor the Utah Jazz Delta Center? Utah Jazz, formerly, it was the Sambos, which was a derogatory name for a African American, a Sambo. There was Sambo's restaurants in the U.S. in the 60s and 70s, and the owner owned the New Orleans Jazz, and he moved them to Utah. That's a whole nother story. Utah is the northwest corner of the four corners. And corn being a magic, the maze, the corn maze. That's me. Dungeons and Dragon maze, curse, Castaway. So the Delta Center in Utah Jazz, 12-9 Northwest, 12-9. My birthday. Happy birthday, Delta. So that just means that everybody, and then you get into it being the beehive state, Utah being the beehive state, and the SCAD being John Malkovich beehive. So that means everybody else is and me being Omega last, lowest rank. So on my birthday, I get the worst interpretation, and I feel sorry for all those that are I have a decent apartment. It's probably the best I ever had in my shitty existence. But we're talking about we're talking about millions or billions that I should be living within, where I could do some real good, like the Rockefeller Foundation with Mr. Beast. You know, that sort of mentality, but instead I gotta be the slave, franchise slave. So, being John Malkovich, 12-9 birthday, the Wallflowers, Jacob Dylan. On my Facebook page, I listed all and another funny joke is, and just like that, the Sex and the City sequel was launched on 12-9. And my last girlfriend, 1998 or 1999, when Sex and the City was premiering with Terry Bradshaw as my girlfriend Carrie, the last girlfriend I had was Carrie Moorhead back in New Orleans. Coincidence? Oh, that's some witch's curse, Carrie Underwood. They're going to teach me a lesson. 69. Oh, that goes into the 69 joke. Equality. The 6 and the 9. Me being 9. And it being the 12th month being the last. So I got to waste my entire life going down on everything. The Delta joke of my 69 existence is, I go down on everything. Lewinsky always loses, goes down on everything. And the girls all suck off the replacement repulsive rep brothers while I go down on them. And they, so that's the Cuban cigar factory. It's a joke. The Delta Triangle. So, let's see. Jersey Reps. Okay. 12-9, Northwest Stadium, Washington Commanders. I have no problem giving magic power to the Washington Commanders football players. The problem is the Jersey boys, the Soprano Jersey boys. It's everybody with a trademarks Jersey or they get the magic power, and they all outrank the source. That's because of the Omega curse. So everybody that wears a jersey outranks it's the magic overboard, support the player. I support the players and all, and I have no problem with that. The problem is if they would let me, it's the entire, everybody that has a ticket is sacred magic, that sort of mentality. Then you factor in the jerseys and the trademarks of all the NFL and All Saints Day, All Saints 11-1, that mentality. Whereas I pay for all of this bullshit, worst investment ever. Volunteer! Jesuit volunteer, JV. Or joint venture. No joint ventures for you. That's illegal in the Mafia rules, because I might escape the island. We gotta handicap you on Castaway. Hate crime, desecrate name. This is definitely one of the worst hate crimes in history. Passion fruit, Southern Christ, slave gangbang in Zeds basement. The Bow curse. They gotta make me hate my name. The Bow curse. Vanity Fair. This goes into Vanity Fair. Fair being a handicap, Harrison Bergeron. Omega being a handicap to the Omega worst. So I gotta be irreverent to the worst, because Jesus did, and we're gonna teach you a lesson with guns to your head, and the Mafia is stealing billions and millions, and but we're gonna make, that's the justification for all this Mafia activity, is we're doing it for Jesus. You're teaching you Jesus lessons. It's the biggest bunch of bullshit in the world. It's a hate crime. Desecrate the name, the Bow curse. The pre-met prime wasted decades. It's always going to be Hunger Games Pains. We'll get into that later, the Hunger Games Pains. The Bow curse. The Becky Sharp Vanity Fair. Becky Sharp was a character in Vanity Fair. Vanity being beauty. The Devil's Advocate, Al Pacino, favorite deadly sin. They got to teach me lessons. The Mafia justifies their pickpockets and stealing with lessons, reverent lessons, lympathetic limp mansion beer barons in St. Louis. So the big bet, graceful poise. After I've wasted the prime of my life, my natural looks, natural gas, LNG, I was a bench warmer LNG, billions stolen. I could have been a game changer, but not allowed to play because I got to have my wallet, so I got to pay for the games and suffer. Be reverent for the God bless USA, Jesus forgives, saves, turns other cheek, paddle wheel, kayakers. Whipping the Pledge Brothers paddle wheel gambling boat. So this Bow curse. Will I get plastic surgery? I'm speculating, if I ever escape, will I get plastic surgery? The vanity bet. So they wasted the prime of my life, stealing billions of dollars from me and my family who are zoo slaves. And the world is really fucking trashed right now, but that makes the USA worth more. Praise Jesus. God bless USA. So, the Bow curse. Will I ever get plastic surgery? The Vanity Fair joke of because I waiter whipped ugly UGA Lee. That joke. Sensory intercept ball. Okay, so there's a game. This is part of my insanity, my madness of being a castaway, alienated castaway for so many years. We're talking 2020. Imagine 20 years and no competent friends. Okay, and I had 2004. The last almost friend I had was Liz Kimball, and She was a competent friend. She was smart. She came from a wealthy family. She owned an art gallery. She went to Notre Dame and UVA. She was an artist. We were friends, but I was nervous about corrupting her, and because I was a corruption force. I didn't want to corrupt her. She was a virgin from Notre Dame, and she came from New Canaan, Connecticut. Her father was CEO of Morgan Stanley, a former CEO of Morgan Stanley. So they had houses in Stod and all over the world. And she lived in a big mansion out neighbor of Dick Cheney on the Snake River. And I used to go out there. But we never, and it was kind of, she didn't want to be friends after, and so and that was the last the closest friend I had. I've been alienated ever since. In Aspen, and I almost had a friend in Crested Butte, but I got fired from the job. There was a Air Force, the son of an Air Force captain who was the front desk manager in Crested Butte. And I was supposed to be manager of the restaurant. We were living together, but I got fired from my job for no reason. Got whacked. That was a setup hit. And so I got knocked down. Head smash, buffalo jump. Thank God for the U.S. debt. But we almost were friends. We got along great until I got fired, and then I was, I skied all, I didn't do anything, couldn't get another job, and was screwed, so it wasn't a friend. Aspen, I had a bunch of teen employees that I used to lecture, advanced lecturing during their shifts of art, music, jazz, literature, economics, global politics, philosophy, but they weren't really friends. And I tried making friends in Aspen. Everybody, like I was saying before, I haven't had somebody call me and say, let's go get a drink or let's hang out since like 2003. Lately, there was one girl, and I honestly think this was a setup. She was moving from Chicago. She answered my Craigslist ad, and we started texting. But she has no intelligence capacity. I tried turning her into a business. All I'm concerned about these days is, what can I turn you into a business tool to help me escape Castaway Island and launch my business? She's got zero potential. She texts me like pictures of her food and tells me that she's awake and, just nothing. No intelligence, no art, no anything. And so it's just dead weight, waste of time, distracts me from my mission. I'm not a cat, I'm no longer legal, but still it goes back to competency. So the century, we're on this spiral into my alienation. But so I started this game, the holy days of obligation, feast days as you would, on my birthday and on Christmas. So I would, to try to escape, it's like my theory was, and this is, and I understand, I have empathy for all the poor people out there that try to play the game, This all goes back to the programming, the hacks, and all the genetic hacking, gene hack man, burning man. And so the sensory intercept bubble, So I go on these feast days to where on my birthday I would dress up and try to escape the bubble to launch myself from this castaway island using the power of my birthday. But the sensory intercept bubble, the parasite. So let's say today, as a matter of, I bought a steak and I'm going to eat a steak and eggs for lunch. And hopefully, and I eat bread, but see, and I'm going to have avocados. And I had ice cream, Klondike ice cream bar, the Klondike Gold Rush. There ain't no Gold Rush. It's always this goes back into the representational nature of food, the representational nature of everything. But then you factor in the parasite reps that replace me and keep me in a bubble. That's the zoo bars are these parasite reps. So if I look at something, let's say I get a Playboy and I look at it, a parasite rep will then get a Playboy bunny to perform sex acts on him while I stay in the cage. I might be able to use a Playboy bunny to help me escape and social network and networking and escape the bubble and become locally famous. So no, I got to be a castaway, alienated. So these are the games I've been playing for years. On birthdays, it's a holy day of obligation, as you would. And I was like, am I programming the entire future year? That sort of mentality. But the parasite reps, so I'll eat a steak. So get ready to feast. The parasite reps will get the bread I eat, with bread being a representational nature of money. So if I eat bread, the parasite rep brothers, praise Jesus, God bless USA, the parasite rep brothers, the franchise slave on the Castaway Zoo, they get paid in lieu, ILOL, laugh out loud, in lieu. It's always replacement reps, and it goes back down. This is the HungerGamesPains. So I'm trying to eat so I have a feast day to where on my birthday I try to escape but it never works out. But it's become a habit, so I do it anyway for the hell of it. And since I got this tattoo, the Mafia is fighting against change. That's where it goes into. That's one of the reasons that I think Georgia was used, because Athens, and they're literally betting national championship asterisks to keep me in this zoo bubble, to keep these Mafia fraud scams representational. It's a republic. Representational parasites where the franchise slave gets zero except for my little nice existence. And like I said, at least I'm not homeless. Thank my mother for that. I honestly think the intent was to get me homeless without technology to be able to investigate the case against the Mafia. So Jesus saves the Mafia. So the Mafia's pissed at my mother for saving me, but she does the dirty work, keeping me small. It's bizarre. So, it's a feast day, so I bought a San Pellegrino water. But see, I won't get a representational brother will get the Italian with the big chateau on it. Instead, I'll get the gruel or the Savannah tap water. I don't even get anything from it. It's just Castaway Island, surrounded by deadweight dollars to protect the Mafia schemes, because these bullshit Mafia frauds pray to Jesus and the corrupt government. Jim Valvano V-Week just happens to be this week. Jim Valvano died of cancer, North Carolina State, and he's a big deal I think I've seen on ESPN that this week is the Jim Valvano V-Week. It just happens to be JV. That's a curse. Jim Valvano, me being in this curse marks, it only matters to those with deep pockets to pick. And this is how you pick the pocket for Jesus. And so the Jim Valvano died of cancer. So basically, me, this the Omega curse, cancer. Oh, I left out a step. Georgia, Athens being the King Cone bars of the Omega curse. So if I was in another state, I might not get the. So Georgia plays hardball, betting their national championships, and they're betting Athens' reputation to screw me. They're so addicted to my stolen wallet that they literally bet Athens' reputation as a mafia headquarter, a mafia mecca. They're betting that the country will turn black. Paint the White House black. Darth Vader. Unmask the evil empire. Pirates, ghost pirates. So the Jim Valvano and the V-Week. So the basic Jim Valvano suffers and dies like Jesus did, and then all the money goes into the V Foundation. So the V, who are the brothers above me, I'm the only one that matters because of this matter. So the V Foundation gets all the money for for him dying in his name. That's the volunteer. Die for our sins. Praise Jesus. You know, that bullshit, mafia bullshit. Since I was confirmed JV, even though I've created a new religion, but the mafia is so addicted to my stolen wallet and these fucking mafia scams that I am forced to, it's these curse marks. Whereas that doesn't really matter to any normal person, but you got deep pockets, we gonna play hardball. Blacklisted, no launch vehicle. What are we at? 31 minutes. No launch vehicle. Blacklisted can't build a launch vehicle. I've tried. I've sent 300 plus emails to talent agents. I post daily on talent agents. I post on Instagram these big drawn out of all my projects, and I put that I'm a hostage in Savannah. Billions in potential. Still not smart. They sign these fucking influencers or nobodies or anything like that. But me with billions in potential, and I can't get an agent to broker deals and connect. It seems like a conspiracy to me. Who knows? I'm just crazy. So I can't build a launch vehicle. Ran the Craigslist ad for 19 weeks. Alienated in Savannah. Funny joke. This is the Mr. Bojangles is a fried chicken in North Carolina. When I was there for 1 month, I ate at a Mr. Bojangles. Me being Bo, the joke of it is. And instead of being afraid of Bo, they're running, the mafia makes him afraid to, so there's this girl, I walk every day at 7:30, and I walk by this new hotel, the municipal building, and she's always outside setting up the outside tables. And for months I walked by and I would wave. She always wore headphones, and I try to talk to her. She's probably in her 30s. And so finally we talk one morning. She's with her outer earphones on, and we start talking, and for like, I think 2 or 3 days in a row she was there. She was always there at the same time. So we talked, and turns out she got a degree in English from University of North Carolina, and she's a writer, she's a theater person, and I went into lectures about forming a think tank. I was telling her that I'm one of the greatest muses in the history of the world because of this power dynamics, global power muse. And I'm ignored by SCAD, which is a historic joke. My Craigslist ad, I even put a part in there about because of the horrific muse inspiration in Savannah. that I created this ad to be muse inspiration for global power, and I was like, told her that about playing the game to escape. She's waiting tables or something like that with a college degree in English. I was like, let's work on a project together. You know, I would only talk for like 3 or 4 minutes a day before walking on, and then about 3 or 4 days, and I gave her my card and said, send me an email and I'll send you a business plan and some intelligence reports and stuff like that. And of course, every time I give my business card with an email on there, people ignore it and they run and hide from me. It's Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, Jekyll Island, Federal Reserve, Treasure Island, Matrix. And Robert Louis Balfour Ring Stevenson. So she for 3 or 4 days in a row now, she and I time it because I'm trying to bring Prince Louis sunshine to St. Vincent Girls School rather than the mob rule mentality that is prevalent in Savannah. I'm trying to bring the Prince Louis sunshine. My business cards have solarism. My ad has solarism. It's like I create a type of growth, but they've hacked the mentality of the growth, the ideology, the principles of my development to be against that's the Omega hack. But I'm trying to overrule that, but I'm not allowed to because I don't have the resources and I'm alienated. So I can go at the same time walk by St. Vincent's School every morning to bring sunshine to hopefully inspire, or I don't know. So that's one of my walks. So she is now, I haven't seen her out in like 3 or 4 days. So I guess I scared her off. She ran and hid. Mr. Bojangles fried chicken for the Mafia to eat and ignores me. Another strikeout, Mr. 3000. Blacklisted, no vehicle. Personal injury law is my only option. So I've started recently, about a month ago, every day on TMZ and people. TMZ is literally, when I can remember when I worked at the Aspen Hotel, it started when I was living at my mother's condo after I think even at Ben and Jerry's, TMZ had a tip line, and I used to send tips. I was sending a ton of emails to all sorts of media outlets to try to launch Escape. I wanted TMZ to make me famous to escape. And so I was sending tons of tips. So I've probably sent 1,000 tips, and there's no record of this, so they'll get away with it, of course. But since 2007, TMZ has known of my existence and buried my existence. And so, but my Twitter account is a feed, and I've commented on TMZ and People Magazine. So those are the two. So I've started daily, and I put on this is for the legal record, I put at the top of it that I want to be rescued, and that sort of, and so personal injury law seems to be my only option since I am alienated, can't build long, my family ignores me, everything. I've tried everything. And personal injury law would be the worst, is one of the major problems with the predatory nature of the sacred individual society. So, personal injury law, my only option. So I'm going to sue TMZ and people for burying the story, creating a phenomenon, so then I can hopefully launch an Escape, which then means I will have to pay extreme for everything I ever did. And that's probably the motive for the duck soup ambush trophy by the mob. The psychotic mafia calling from God. I got into this. The volunteer, Mike TV, Tennessee volunteer, Smokey the Dog. Gusher Well, Curse Marks, St. JV confirmed. I got into that. It's a bizarre scenario. So, game to escape on the birthday. The feast programs, I got into that. Future year. Parasites Feast. So, Parasites, be prepared. They celebrate Delta Center, 12-9, Utah Jazz. Anybody that flies on Delta gets birthday magic. The last for the year. The Magic 9. This goes into numerology joke, and 9 being my birthday, 12-9. The St. Louis 9, King of France, and 9 is the letter I, being a first person pronoun. Magic. Louisiana has 9 letters, and 504, Louis O Iana, 0 Iana. 225 is another zip code in Louisiana. Baton Rouge, that's 9 letters. 414 has 9 letters. Then goes into the Milwaukee Bucks, the South by Southwest 6x6 9, 414, all for one, one for all. The Louisiana 513, 9 letters. Louis I Anna 513. 9 letters, and that's Cincinnati, where Xavier Musketeers, all for one, one for all. The X-Men, Covalent Bond 414. Then the I don't know how I discovered this, but in my many years of being a kidnapped castaway, I used to do a lot of research into numerology and symbology and semiotics and all that, and I remember a lot of it, thankfully. Thank the Lord Almighty. 414 12th Street in Kansas City is Kansas City City Hall. 414 and 12th Street, 12 being the letter L. Magic 12, Big 12, 12 man, 12th month, December. But the joke of the 12 is, and this is probably a joke of my birthday, 12 being senior year of high school, and I'm a JV curse junior. So therefore, the Savannah River senior, number 12, the L is out of my league. So all the representative poser bullshit frauds get the benefits, but me, I can't even celebrate my own birthday because it's been numerology. You bet your life, gambler. It's just crazy. It's a joke. This is a joke, but it's the mentality of trying to escape the Castaway Island and playing this stupid game, which I think was supposed to be inspiration, muse inspiration, but I came up with all of this decades ago, and I've been still trying to escape, and I still can't, and it's all based upon this alienation and the crazy stalkers. So I got a New York strip steak to have for lunch with a 3-egg omelet. 3 egg being three points to a 90-degree right angle L, like Colorado buffaloes. So New York strip steak and a 3-egg omelet for lunch. So let's hope that I can escape this here castaway captivity and program my life, but I'm sure that'll just mean some other brother will get the feast and I get the pain. It's the agony and ecstasy lab. Agony suffer suffer for the sins of the party. I honestly have no problem with religion, but the mafia utilization of religion and these mafia patriots are some of the biggest bullshit con artists in history. And this is all based upon all of these things. I have no problem with religion. I think it's a necessary evil. Or, yeah, I guess I shouldn't say necessary evil, but it's necessary to control the morality of the masses. It's the greatest weapon in the history of the world. True. It's the greatest tool of mass control in the history of the world. But it's created a bunch of chaotic badness. That's one of the reasons I created a new religion to try to cure a lot of the problems that religion caused by looking to futurism rather than stuck in the past, stuck in repeating the curses of history. So, happy birthday to me. Alone. Feast day. We'll see. And I guess that's about it. The Becky Sharp Vanity Fair, Magic I-9 for first person, Eye of the Tiger, Survivor Island. Oh, another joke. Eye of the Tiger, Survivor, Rocky Mountains. And what would be my idea for the Global Ski Resort TV channel is a brilliant strategic move. But dumbass LSU Louisiana would rather screw me than be brilliant. That's the mentality of they're crazy because they're so deeply indebted to this Mafia bullshit scam. So they won't help me launch a global ski resort TV, which is a strategic tiger move, you know? Spread your influence to vast highlands of the world, but no, we'd rather screw you. Brokeback Mountain was launched on December 9th. Can't quit screwing you, boy. These dope heads like Heath Ledger. Let's hope they die soon. No, I have no animosity towards Heath Ledger. I have no problem, but I wish they would give me back my wallet and let me Castaway free. Have a good day.